Nation in the history of the world. Nation in decline.
Yeah, we're something in decline, buddy. So that was Donald Trump talking to the NRA and experiencing what some are saying was a Mitch McConnell-esque freeze, a locking up of the brain that resulted in more than 30 seconds of silence. Now, Trump says that's not what it was. And I, despite the fact that I'm supposedly like patient zero for Trump derangement syndrome, have tried to come up with every alternative explanation that actually makes sense. And we're gonna try to do that. But it's not a great look when you're trying to present your opponent as being senile or whatever, that you pause like in the middle of a paragraph for more than 30 seconds. Now, that said, I'll give my theories, but first, let's let Trump try to explain this and see if we think that it's convincing. He said, my capital S speech in Dallas this weekend at the NRA's endorsement of President Donald J. Trump was attended by a record crowd of very enthusiastic patriots. The Biden campaign, however, put out a fake story that I froze for 30 seconds going into the musical interlude section, when in actuality, the 30 to 60 second period of silence is standard in every one of my capital S speeches where we use the capital M music. Check out any of my speeches. The reason they came up with this disinformation is that Biden freezes all the time, can't put two sentences together, and very rarely find his way off the stage without help. He literally was helped off the stage, by the way, by a member of the NRA. We're not gonna go to it, we don't have time, but he did. Donald Trump doesn't freeze. It's a made up Biden campaign story put out in a dying newspaper that I never heard of. And every reporter knows it, including the large group that was there. I don't even know what newspaper he's talking about. The clip was literally everywhere instantaneously. I love that Grandpa's ranting about, I don't know, the New York Times put something up about it.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
So he's saying it's not a freeze, it's not any of that. This is an interlude that I always do. And look, that could be a thing, Francesca. Two things about that though, and you tell me if I'm being unfair. Okay, you're reasonable. One, why would it take place where it did? Between two sentences that are linked rhetorically. Why would you stop in the middle of that? And second of all, if it's a musical interlude, if you go back, he's not just listening to the music, he's like shaking his head, he's like pursing his lips. Why is he emoting in that way if this is a totally standard musical interlude that always happens? Which maybe it is, what do you think?
He does have a lot of interludes. I mean, to his credit, he's not wrong about that. He's like played them up and they're very weird and they're very cuey. But no, that's not what happened here. There was clearly a massive chunk of his teleprompter. Someone fell asleep on the return button and it just went dot, 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 and it kept, I've been there. And he can't admit it because he doesn't use a teleprompter, except he does all the time. Like he does it all the time. And you're right. It would have made sense if he looked out, gazed out in the audience and was like, and then America's in decline. I don't know, like maybe it would have made sense there, but he's clearly looking at the teleprompter. He's waiting, he's just waiting. He's waiting for the next line to show up and he's too stupid to remember that line is something that he said for years now, which is America is in decline.
Yeah, and just look, I try so hard and needlessly to be fair. They did play music, which could mean that it's the interlude. Or it could be that with a technical problem, they threw to music. Again, like it's a really weird position for it. The thing about the broken teleprompter theory that I find hard to believe is he totally does use a teleprompter. I totally get that he would not be able to remember his speech without it. But Trump vamps. Like that's one of his faults actually, is that he just goes off on stream of consciousness. So if it broke, like, cause the teleprompter did break either at that event earlier or a different speech this weekend, and he just starts talking, crazy stuff about Hannibal Lecter and whales and everything. It's the pause that's so distinctive. So look, I'll say maybe it was an interlude, but it is super weird and it's super weirdly placed, and I don't understand the point of it. But anyway, regardless, let's set that aside and let's go to what passes for substance at Trump's speeches. At his recent weekend speech, Trump once again tried to compare himself to the great Republican presidents of old. Take a look at this.
And honestly, there's been no president since Abraham Lincoln, and perhaps in a certain way, including Abraham Lincoln, but there's been no president since Abraham Lincoln that has done more for the black individual in this country than President Donald J. Trump. There's been nobody, not even close.
Now, I was hoping that he would later go on to explain exactly which black individual he was talking about there. Maybe Tim Scott, maybe he is planning to make him VP.
Clarence Thomas.
Or Clarence Thomas, maybe. I also look, can he say the word black without making it a swear?
Yeah.
Like he always exclaims it. The black individual.
Just
like
sounds
Jesus Christ. Like just calm down, buddy.
Too much blah on the black.
Yeah, he's thinking about other words he'd like to say. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.